Hi, I'm Jim Lyons, and welcome to Managing Natural Resource Conflicts. During my career, I've had an opportunity to work on many complex and challenging natural resource management issues, many of which focused on Western landscapes. Using those experiences and others, we'll discuss how conflicts arise, their causes and consequences, and how to manage conflicts in ways that hopefully lead to their resolution. First, a little bit about me. When I went to college and graduate school, my plan was to learn as much as I could about forests and natural resources so I could become the best forester I could be. I convinced myself that that would be the path to becoming a really good resource manager. What I didn't understand at the time was how important it was to understand people and their role in giving natural resources value, in deciding how to manage public lands and resources, and by virtue of the decisions managers make, deal with the conflicts that often result. And I can assure you that I had no desire to find myself in the middle of so many challenging and controversial issues during my career. When I left graduate school, I first worked for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in the Department of the Interior. I left 3 years later to work for the Society of American Foresters, where I was responsible for developing policy positions for the forestry profession and representing the SAF on Capitol Hill. That led to an opportunity to work in the U.S. Congress, where I participated in the legislative process and worked on many forestry and conservation issues over 6 years as senior staff on the House Agriculture Committee. I was appointed by President Clinton to be Undersecretary for Natural Resources and Environment in the Department of Agriculture in 1993, where I was in charge of the USDA Forest Service and what is now known as the Natural Resources Conservation Service. I worked with Forest Service Chief Jack Ward Thomas, who taught here at the University of Montana for a number of years. Jack and I helped lead the effort to conserve spotted owls and old-growth forests in the Pacific Northwest, to attempt to resolve an issue that had shut down the timber economy in the region for over a decade. Later, I worked with Jack's successor, Mike Dombeck, to help lead the effort to protect 58 million acres of remaining national forest roadless areas, what became known as the Clinton Roadless Rule. The Roadless Rule was litigated by several Western governors for more than a decade, leading to changes in the Idaho and Colorado roadless areas, and an ongoing controversy over the future of the Tongass National Forest in southeast Alaska. I went back into government service under President Obama as the Deputy Assistant Secretary overseeing the Bureau of Land Management under Secretary Sally Jewell. There, I was part of a team that led the effort to conserve the greater sage-grouse, an iconic bird of the western sagebrush landscape threatened with extinction. That too became a controversial issue, in spite of our success in developing a landscape-level, science-based collaborative conservation strategy. The Trump administration's changes to those plans are still being contested in court today. In working on these and many other issues, I learned a great deal about natural resource conflicts and the social, economic, ecological, and scientific factors involved. I also had the opportunity to work with land managers, scientists, elected officials, and the people and communities affected by the decisions we made to better understand their perspectives in working together to try to resolve those issues. This course is designed to help you learn about conflict management and benefit from what I learned from my experiences in dealing with the issues I described. The future of the West, of our public lands, and to some degree of our nation is dependent on our ability to work more effectively together in dealing with the natural resource issues that confront us today and those you will face in the future. While much of the course will be online, several times during the next 6 weeks we'll use Zoom to engage guest speakers and each other in conversations about the issues I've worked on in the past and discuss how we should manage our public lands and natural resources today and into the future. In the end, my goal is to help you learn about managing natural resource conflicts and some of the skills that should help you in managing the public lands and natural resource issues that you're likely to face during your career. We'll get started with a quick review of the history of our public lands and an overview of some of the issues that have sparked conflict and controversy in the management of these lands more recently. I look forward to working with you over the next 6 weeks. Thanks for joining this class.